Hello, Luckies. We are your brunch entertainment. Hopefully you're enjoying your meal. I just had the apple French toast. Unbelievable. We
Good
are
stuff.
Zone Coverage. My name's Sam Ekstrom. This is Luke Inman. This is the boss and the founder, Tom Schreier. We're talking
Kind of a big deal.
Minnesota Vikings NFL draft talk for the next hour or so. Hopefully it's informative. Hopefully it's fun. Who are we? We're Zone Coverage, a local media company, writing and podcasting about all Minnesota sports. We were at Eagan at the facility all weekend covering this Vikings draft. And again, if you want to be a Zone Coverage member, get full access to all of the perks of Zone Coverage. How much is it, Luke? I mean, it's a highway robbery.
It's $3, you guys. It's just $3 a month, and in this economy, I mean, I can't believe. And the boss is here, so that's unbelievable. But $3 a month gets you all our premium subscription service, gets you all the content. Of course, we were in Eagan, like you mentioned, Sam. We were in Eagan all weekend at the new Viking facility. By the way, that thing is looking pristine. It's like its own like a gated community. I don't know if anybody's driven by it, but it was absolutely beautiful. I was blown away by what Rick Spielman, Ziggy Wilf, and the owners did. But we are here, like you mentioned, Sam, to break down the NFL draft, break down the Vikings, to unfortunately break down the Green Bay Packers as well, the Chicago Bears, the Detroit Lions, and of course, plenty of other tidbits. We got a great guest coming up in about 40 minutes, Matthew Coller from ESPN Radio. That's right, ESPN Radio will be here to help us break down the entire division, some draft winners and losers. And again, you know, they pay us to do this. It's kind of boring, but the bigger thing. We're here to give away stuff, too.
Yes, and Tom is here because he's our model. He's like the Price is Right gal who like shows the prizes.
Yeah.
He's going to show us what you can win with our trivia contest. So we've got some Zone Coverage swag. We've got T-shirts.
Swag, baby.
White or gray. We've got a hoodie to give away. We've got a Lucky's 13 ball cap.
I got gift cards. Who doesn't like gift cards?
And Luke is actually styling the backwards version
not a big
of
deal.
the hat right now.
It's
you
right
can
here.
also wear it forwards or sideways if you prefer. But that's what we've got to give away. We're going to have trivia interspersed throughout. Why don't we do
Wait a
one
minute.
right
Stop.
now?
Just stop.
We got to
Wait
give
a minute.
something away right now.
I got the itch. I want to give away some stuff right now. Can we do that? Can we just give away stuff right now? Let's
can
start
do
with this.
whatever we want.
Again, you guys, the NFL draft was just this past weekend. We're going to recap that. Let's start with an NFL draft trivia. Let's keep it Vikings-based. If anybody right now can just come up here right now and just tell me who the Vikings' first pick was this past weekend, I will give you a $10 lucky gift card. We got the mic right here. Anybody at all right now, we're giving away stuff. $10 gift card. Let's start the show, giving away some freebies. You got to come up. And by the way, guys, during this process, we'll give away plenty of stuff. Come up, talk to Tommy Guns, our boss right here, right? No big deal. He's kind of a bodyguard-looking dude. Come up, give me your name, where you're from, and then go ahead. If you got a stab at that question, the Vikings' first pick.
Scott Fisher, and it's Mike Hughes.
Mike Hughes. For a bonus, can you tell me what position?
CB.
CB. Cornerback, baby. It's that
Central
easy.
Florida.
We're giving away gift cards, $10 gift card. Scott.
And it will not get any easier than that.
Scott, stick around, dude. I got a tab already built up. Maybe can I borrow that? Can I use that? No, he's good. All right.
They're going to get harder, though.
They will get a little tougher.
I stumped you on a couple of them.
That's right. But we're giving away, it's that easy, you guys. We're giving away gift cards. We got swag, like Sam mentioned. We got hats. We got T-shirts. It's not a big deal. But enjoy the breakfast. Again, Lucky's has breakfast going until 1.
Apple's French toast.
Sam tried the apple French toast. It's phenomenal. Just quick reminder, guys. Lucky's always gets busy next, Mother's Day weekend.
Make sure your gifts are purchased for your mom.
They got the brunch going on. Lucky's. It's always our favorite time. I love to bring my mom here for the brunch, and you got to get your reservations in. I remember last year it was a little tight, shoulder to shoulder. Make sure you get your reservations in. Talk to your server or a manager about that as soon as you can if you're interested. Enjoying your Mother's Day morning here at Lucky's with the breakfast brunch. Sam, what do you got for us?
Well, the initial plan for today, I was going to compare every draft pick to a brunch food. That was the idea. Brian O'Neill, he's the breakfast potatoes. He's the starch. He's not sexy, but he gets the job done. And Daniel Carlson, he's the kicker. He's the mimosa. He puts a little kick in your breakfast.
He'll give you a little buzz.
But then you looked at me and you said, that is a terrible
It's a
idea.
horrible idea.
And we're not even going to touch
Don't do that.
We're not going to go down that road.
Don't do that.
But we should talk about these draft picks. And what I
We
want to
should.
do, let's work in reverse order. Let's grade. Let's grade the picks.
You got it.
Building up from pick number 8
You got it.
to pick number 1. So let's start at the bottom. Let's talk about the guys that no one's heard of. The guys Devontae Downs and Ade Aruna out of Tulane. Those were the last 2 Vikings draft picks. Devontae Downs. Now, here's a nugget that we'll maybe touch on later, too.
Sure.
7 straight years the Vikings have taken a linebacker in the final round of the
Say
draft.
that again. I don't think people really comprehend how crazy of a stat that is. 7 straight years, the
7.
Vikings, with their 7th-round pick, have handed in the card, and it's been a linebacker. Now, of course, we're talking about the 7th-round pick. It's not always a great pick. It's not always sexy. It's not always a Hall of Fame type of player or caliber. But very interesting to note, of course, Rick Spielman and Mike Zimmer, our defensive-minded head coach, loves to get a linebacker in there. This year, it was no different with pick 225. It was Devontae Downs, a linebacker from California. Let me tell you this. He's not necessarily the most athletic guy. He's not the biggest, strongest, or fastest. So you're saying, Luke, why would we draft him? Well, he's going to be a great special teamer. And I know that doesn't sound fun or exciting to anybody listening, but, you know, the game of football is 3 phases: offense, defense, and special teams. And special teams is important. It can make or break a few games every year, whether you win or lose those. Devontae Downs, a linebacker from California, listen, he may not end up making the 53-man roster, but if he does, he'll be a great special teams contributor. I give that grade a solid B-. Again, not the highest upside in the world, but for the 7th-round pick 225, I think Devontae Downs could be a special teams contributor.
You said B-. What do I have written down
What'd
right
you
there?
write?
Just to confirm.
B-.
B-.
We got chemistry, man.
That's exactly the way I
We
feel
got
about
chemistry.
it. So Devontae Downs
Yep.
tore his ACL in high school.
Injured, yep.
So that's a red flag. Serious knee injury his senior year of
Right.
college as well. So the guy has some tough knees. Reminds me actually of Michael Motti, another
That's right,
7th
Michael
round
Motti,
linebacker.
Penn State. That's
knee
right.
issues.
That's
So-
right. Good call.
So if not for that knee injury, he probably goes higher in the draft. But because of the knees, that
That's right.
can bring a guy down.
No doubt.
Teams are very wary of that.
No doubt.
So if he can recover from those knee injuries, and he's surrounded by now a great training staff, I think he can be a guy that makes this roster, like you said,
Well-
play some special teams. And the Vikings are shallow at linebacker. They need some depth.
I'll say this, and you said it right there at the end. You know, they have 2 great starting linebackers in Eric Kendricks and Anthony Barr.
Big guns.
The biggest thing, though, is Anthony Barr will be a free agent next year. And I know you can't sign everybody. And I don't know if anybody knows this listening out there in La La Land, that the Vikings signed Kirk Cousins, a new quarterback. Raise your hand if you know about Kirk Cousins. 80, there she is.
Yes.
Yep, $84 million. The lone Kirk Cousins fan right
She's
here
the
sitting
only
at the
one
bar.
who's heard of him.
She's watching Kirk Cousins highlights right now, I can tell. And, you know, when you sign, I heart Kirk. I love it. When you sign a guy like Kirk Cousins, as great as it is, you know, it's expensive. And in a salary cap-driven league, you can't sign everybody. I feel like, and I hate to say this, Anthony Barr may be a cap casualty next year.
No.
And I feel like, you know what, you better start planning ahead for the future, and you better start bringing in some young guys so they can get a year under their belt. Devontae Downs could be that kind of guy. Not a lot of great depth behind him either. Ben Gideon, 4th-round pick last year from Michigan. But Eric Wilson is really the only depth guy. Because remember, Kentrell Brothers, if you didn't hear, our backup linebacker and stud tight end. He wasn't shooting up drugs, but it was PEDs. Yeah, PEDs. And, you know, I think at this point, too, he's going to be suspended 4 games from what I've heard. You better get another body in there. I think Devontae Downs, our 7th-round pick, could be that guy.
Let's talk about Ade Aruna.
I love this guy.
He was the other 6th-round pick for the Vikings. He's from Nigeria.
Yep.
Started playing football when he was a senior
That's right.
in high school.
That's right.
So he started late. But you've looked at the film. You love what you see. And this guy is an athlete. He actually came to America to play basketball. He took on, in high school, Andrew Wiggins' basketball team.
Did you know this?
He guarded
Yeah.
Andrew Wiggins.
And he beat him.
Tom, you cover the Timberwolves.
I do.
Is Andrew Wiggins the most popular guy in the world right now?
Not really.
No.
Maybe Wiggins was asleep when he was guarding him.
Yeah, that could be.
According to Aruna,
He looks half asleep half the time when he's playing. Hey, Ronnie.
According to Aruna, he held Andrew Wiggins to 6 points when they played high school basketball.
Is that right?
That was the number 1 pick in the draft.
Freak athlete.
Went to
Freak athlete.
Kansas.
Yep.
Maple Jordan.
Going to get a lot of money going forward here. Yep.
Held to.
And that is our 6th round pick. Yeah, long, lanky. I got to be honest, man, when I flipped on the tape, I thought I was watching Javion Clowney, the number 1 overall pick for the Houston Texans 2 years ago. Not to build the hype up too high, but I'm telling you, this guy has extreme length, speed, agility, and I just feel like for a 6th round pick, you're asking why would he last to the 6th round? Because he's from a small school. Because he was hurt. Because he was playing basketball 2 years ago. That's why he's got a lot of question marks. He's got a lot of red flags. But I'm telling you, from just the pure ability, raw ability, physicality, remember that name, Ade Aruna from Nigeria. Again, you talked about the basketball background, played against Andrew Wiggins. To be honest, I know we're going to go through all the Vikings draft picks today, along with the Packers and Bears and Lions. This is my favorite sleeper pick of the entire Vikings draft. He's a defensive end, but I feel like with Andre Patterson, if you don't know, that's our defensive line coach, with Andre Patterson, who's developed guys like Danielle Hunter, who was a nobody coming out of college. He's refined Everson Griffin. He's helped Brian Robeson these last few years. And, of course, he's made Linval Joseph one of the best nose tackles in the league. I think Ade Aruna from Tulane could be a legitimate impact starter in 3 years down the road. And that's really all you're hoping for at this late in the draft. Talking about pick what? Talking about pick
218.
218. I mean, you're just throwing darts up on the board at that point. They're not all going to be winners. I call them lotto tickets, Powerball tickets. You just want as many day 3 picks as you can get, because eventually you're going to hit on 1 or 2 of these guys that are going to be impact players.
I think we've got some trivia. We've got some stuff to give away.
Hey, we got trivia. That means we're giving away stuff. That's what that means.
So you can either start lining up now, or you can wait till you hear the question maybe, because this one is going to require a little bit of thinking.
That's right.
How many first-round picks?
So this is it. Trivia. You got one going right now.
Wait,
what's the prize?
What should the prize be?
I think we should start
T-shirt?
maybe a zone coverage T-shirt or fleece or hat. I'll tell you what. You get your pick when you get up here of the Lucky 13's hat or zone coverage T-shirt.
I like it.
Go ahead. Rip out our next trivia question whenever you're ready.
All right. How many first-round picks are currently in the Vikings starting defense? Now, couple clarifiers here. You might be thinking about Terrence Newman. You can't count Terrence Newman because he's not on the team. He's a free agent.
So just repeat that one more time for everybody if you're listening. Go ahead.
How many former first-round picks are on the Vikings defense? Can't count Terrence Newman. He's not on the team.
So Newman's out.
And you can't count the first-round pick Mike Hughes yet either.
Because he hasn't started.
And Spielman said he might not start his first year. So we're not going to count him.
I'll tell you what. I'll even help you out. I'll get you started. Harrison Smith would be one of them. Obviously a safety from Notre Dame. He's one of the best, if not the best safety in the entire league. That's one. Obviously, again, you'll get you started there, but come on up. Obviously,
we're just looking for a number.
It's within the confines. So even if you know nothing about football or the draft, come on up, take a stab, throw out a number 1 through 10. I promise you might win a prize. Anybody? We might. Yeah, there he is. There he. Are you gonna just? Are you gonna rake today? Are you just gonna?
Is this the
this
young,
is Scott,
young
right?
child? The young child is
this
answering
is Scott,
the question.
Right? Get the mic going for
because
Scott real quick.
Obviously, you can't win 2, but both of you could win 2.
And again, this is Scott. Get that up there. This is Scott.
My gut instinct is saying 3, but I think it's 4.
And what 3 do you think? Go ahead through the list here. What do you think? So obviously, I gave you Harrison Smith.
Anthony Barr.
Anthony Barr. Good guess. Yeah, that's 2.
Oh, man. I might look stupid here, but I want to say
you never. First of all,
Xavier
stop
Rhodes.
that. You never look stupid. You want to hug? You want to hug this out?
Okay.
You never look stupid when you come up and you take a stab. I know you feel vulnerable right now, but remember, you're already a winner.
I'm going to say Xavier Rhodes.
Yeah, no, you're right. So what was the final guess? 3?
Yeah.
Okay,
Harrison
that is
Smith,
not
Anthony.
the number of first-round picks. Unfortunately, it's a great stab.
What did he say?
Sorry.
He said Smith, he said Rhodes, he said Barr.
Barr, yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So we've got 3.
Appreciate you. I'll see you in another 5 minutes.
There's more. Do we have an attempt coming? We do. Oh, we've got an
4,
attempt.
and the last one's Trey Waynes.
It is not 4. But Trey Waynes is a first-round pick.
We're getting there.
So
We're getting
who's
there.
left? Who's left? We've got, let's see, Everson Griffin. Nope, he's a 4th-round pick. We've got Daniil Hunter. Nope, he's a 3rd-round pick. Anderson Dejo, he's undrafted.
Yep. Sorry, did we have another guess?
He guessed 4. Added Trey Waynes to the
Come
mix.
on up. I know we got some rubes over here, and you know I can tell because they're garbed up in the Viking gear. They got the old school retro Viking hat. They got the snapback. But if anybody, we already had one guess. Again, we're giving away stuff here, guys. In this economy, this is just nuts. We're giving away stuff over
free
here
anymore.
Can I guess again?
Why
5,
Why not?
Floyd.
Ooh.
See,
Wait a minute.
Who took his place? Another name.
Free agent
It's another
for the Jets.
name. Don't swear.
Sheldon Richardson.
Yes!
Hey, there he is, baby. So
winner.
5. So real quick, let's recap what 5 there are. Harrison Smith. Go ahead, give him the mic here. Harrison Smith.
Trey Waynes.
Anthony Barr.
Xavier
Rhodes.
And Sheldon Richardson.
Bing, bing,
Yes.
bing, 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 bing. It's that easy,
Nice
guys.
job, my
it's
man.
that easy. Right there. It's that easy, baby.
I love
Zone
it when,
coverage. You better
love
be
it when it
rocking
comes
that.
together.
Put that on right now. You better be rocking that. It's that easy. That's little
Rep that
Ronnie,
swag.
and he's getting the zone coverage gear. We got more giveaways, more gear. We're going to be doing this all hour as we break
Philanthropy.
down the NFL draft, the Vikings recap. Let's get into some more NFL draft talkers, or at least Vikings talkers. I know that's why everybody came in here today to break this stuff down. What else you got for us here?
All right, Luke, I got a question for you.
Okay.
You scouted this for months.
I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm a draft nerd, and I was a little nervous coming here and doing the show for you guys because, you know, I didn't know how much of this stuff was going to go over everybody's heads. And I just want everybody to sit back, relax, enjoy this
Enjoy
great
the fight.
breakfast food. The Captain Crunch French toast is phenomenal. You had the apple
French toast.
Apple French toast is great. The
Yes.
bacon, sausage, eggs, the whole works. Go check out the bar rail. These guys are ripping it up and killing it at the bar. They'll get you a great Bloody Mary or mimosa if that's your style. But lay it on me. I mean, I could get as deep with this draft stuff as you want. Again, we were at Egan all weekend, and we talked to these guys, too. A lot of encouraging draft picks that Rick Spielman brought in this year.
Let me ask you a relatively
Sure.
simple one.
Okay.
Who had the best first round of the draft?
Okay.
And we got some teams that had multiple
Sure.
picks.
So
some
you're
teams
talking about
made
the whole
trades.
entire NFL.
All 32 teams.
All 32 teams.
Who had the best first round?
And you're not talking about just the draft. You're talking about the best first round of the draft. Is that
the
correct?
top pick. Yes.
I got a couple options. And I think the Cleveland Browns, as weird and uncomfortable as this to say, because the Cleveland Browns are literally the worst franchise in all of sports. They're the, I think, longest remaining team to win the championship for their respective sport. But they had 2 first-round picks, and not only did they have 2 first-round picks, they had 2 top 5 picks. So they had the number 1 overall pick, and they had the number 4 overall pick, and that got them a haul of talent. They started with Baker Mayfield, Heisman winner, quarterback. They've been looking for a quarterback now for the last 10 years. They've tried guys like Tim Couch. They've tried guys like, I'm not even going to go down the list, but they got Baker Mayfield, hopefully the new franchise quarterback. And then with the pick number 4, they came back with a cornerback from Ohio State. If you watch any Gophers football at all out there, you probably watch Denzel Ward from Ohio State, the best cornerback in the league. Think about Xavier Rhodes, how much of an impact he makes for the Vikings. That's what Denzel Ward's going to do for the Cleveland Browns. So within 20 minutes, that franchise added their new quarterback, and they after the number 1 cornerback
corner.
in Denzel Ward. So I don't know how you could say any other team did better than the Cleveland Browns in the first round.
Well, if Denzel Ward can match what his former teammate
Yep.
Marshawn Lattimore did
Oh,
in his rookie
man.
year, look out.
Woo!
Here comes Cleveland. But,
That's right.
Okay, I got to say something that kind of gives me the shivers. It makes me feel a little sick to my stomach. But
Okay.
I think Green Bay had a pretty good first round.
They did.
Because they
did.
gained a first-round
Wait,
pick.
just quick timeout. We got any Green Bay Packer fans in the house at all? Just a quick show of hands.
Don't be ashamed.
Just a quick show. Okay, a couple in there, and then plenty of boo birds as well, which obviously we respect, even though it's not even noon. I'll take plenty of boo birds. Go ahead. You said the Green Bay Packers had
gotta
one of the better
compliment them.
drafts of the entire NFL.
Well,
Lay it on me.
Not only did they get a young athletic, another shutdown corner, maybe comparable with Denzel Ward, Jair Alexander.
Really
out
good
of Louisville.
kid from Louisville, yep.
Phenomenal player, but they also traded back to get him, acquiring
With
a first next year.
With the New Orleans
as well.
Saints, yep. A really surprising, shocking move because the Packers moved back a few slots, and they still ended up getting the guy that I thought they were targeting anyways, but you just mentioned it, Sam. I know nobody really cares or pays attention to next year's draft, but the Packers already now have set themselves up beautifully for next year, 2019 NFL draft. They now have 2 first-round picks going into that, which is huge and means basically a lot of moving around or wiggle room them. And again, they could package that up and even go get the number 1 overall pick if they wanted. So Packers set themselves up beautifully.
But let me provide balance to the universe.
Sure.
I don't think it was all good for the
Okay.
Packers. In fact, beyond their first 2 picks, they took 2 great cornerbacks. I did not like the rest of their draft. They took 3 wide receivers. So in one hand, you might say, oh, more weapons.
That's good for
Aaron
Rodgers, right?
But when has receiving play with Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback ever been a real concern? I mean, if your quarterback is Brett Hundley, sure, you need weapons. But if your quarterback is Aaron Rodgers, I've never felt like the Packers were wanting for better receiver play. So they take 3 wide receivers. They take a punter. They take a long snapper. I mean, those are 5 picks that I don't feel like the Packers really got better necessarily or scarier in those areas.
I agree with you.
My 2 cents.
I completely agree with you. Of course, it's tough today too, guys, because the draft just concluded. All 3 days, all 7 rounds. Plenty of players were added. In fact, they're still being added right now in what's called undrafted free agency, which is where a guy like Adam Thielen came from. Superstar Mankato Magic Adam Thielen came from an undrafted free agent class. And again, there's still a lot of moving, a lot of shaking. Rick Spielman's still going on right now in Eagan. So it's tough to grade these completely today. They say usually it takes 3 years to let the dust settle to see how the guys start to shake out and develop. But I will agree with you. The Green Bay Packers killed it at the top. 2 great cornerbacks and that extra first-round pick for next year. But the rest of the draft was kind of right? It was kind of meh.
Yeah.
A C, maybe C+. I think the top of that was so good. I'm still going to give them an A-. But I think at the end of the day, you're right. They could have destroyed the entire draft top to bottom had they done a little bit more on days 2 and 3.
How about some other draft winners, though, Luke? I think the rest of the division did a great job.
Yep.
The Bears get a linebacker and Roquan Smith
Love
that could
'em.
maybe be the
Love 'em.
successor to Brian Urlacher in that rich history of linebackers.
Are
for
you talking
Chicago.
just first round or entire
How
draft?
about overall? I think
Sure.
the Bears had a good draft. James Daniels might have been a steal, center from
yeah.
Iowa. Anthony Miller, 3 defenders on the 3rd day. Chicago did really well. What do you think about overall draft winners?
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Chicago Bears. And now if you're paying attention, that's 2 teams in the Vikings division, the NFC North, that killed it this weekend. So the Green Bay Packers did a phenomenal job. They're going to be nipping on the heels of the NFC North champions, Minnesota Vikings. And the Chicago Bears aren't too far behind as well. If you are a Viking fan and you watch year to year and game to game, every time we go to Soldier Field and play the Chicago Bears, no matter how good or bad they are, they always give us fits. They're going to be even better this year. I think both those teams in the division did well. But if you're looking at general teams, top to bottom, all 32, that had the best draft, in my opinion, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
The Bucks.
A team that is
Wow.
notorious for being horrible at the draft. Most teams start with 7 draft picks. It seems like the Bucks end up with 4 or 5 every year. And that's really where you find the glue in between the cracks of your roster, Sam, through the draft. The Bucks have been really bad and notorious at that. I think when you look at what they did, though, they traded down right away. They got an extra few picks. They got Vita Vea, nose tackle. So basically a Linval Joseph, if you follow the Vikings, Linval Joseph type of defensive lineman for the Tampa Bay Bucks. And then is when they really started to get their money's worth. They got Ronald Jones out of USC, who's going to be the next Reggie Bush. A phenomenal, electric, speedy, explosive running back. They got him in the 2nd round. They got 2 great cornerbacks in MJ Stewart and Carlton Davis. And fun fact, by the way, our first-round pick, Mike Hughes from UCF, he actually played with M.J. Stewart at North Carolina.
Like to hang out with him off the field, too.
That's right, and not always the best way. They got themselves in a little bit of trouble sometimes. But M.J. Stewart, Colton Davis, and then the last one, Alex Kappa, a guy that I was hoping the Vikings would take on day 3. I thought the Tampa Bay Bucks, if you just asked me point blank, top to bottom, I don't think they had a bad pick, and they traded down and scooped up some extra future draft picks as well. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, best draft in my opinion.
It's been a long time since the Bucs were really relevant, even with a franchise quarterback like Jameis. Let's flip it around. Who had a bad overall draft? I'll start.
Sure.
Oakland Raiders, soon to be the Las Vegas
Raiders.
Now, and since we're talking about the Raiders, we're talking about John Gruden. Which means you have to do your John Gruden impression, just a line.
I can do a Gruden. Yeah, 2:22 left on the clock. You're in the Rose Bowl. You look over to the sideline, and all of a sudden, what do you see? Call a timeout, man. This is unbelievable. Not bad?
Perfect.
Okay. I thought the Raiders, man, John Gruden, the guy I just did an impression of, who's been in the booth last season for Monday Night Football, I didn't think he got his new head coaching gig off to a great start.
No.
Okay. I thought he reached on Colton Miller, an offensive tackle. Now, clearly, finding good offensive linemen in the NFL is not as easy as it used to be. Remember, guys, the Vikings, if you watch any Vikings games, how bad was Matt Khalil? Does anybody remember Matt Khalil and how bad he was towards the end of his Viking tenure and career? Not great. I think Colton Miller is an athletic dude. He's from UCLA. I think it's going to take him some time. It's going to take him a few years. And I think for John Gruden, he clearly wants to protect Derek Carr, his quarterback, and give him time and protection. I just didn't think it was the best offensive tackle on the board. I thought Connor Williams from Texas, highly regarded. Mike McGlinchey from Notre Dame was gone. They got sniped there. But I think the Raiders, top to bottom, they got some question marks. Maurice Hurst was the other guy who's got a really tough heart condition.
Yeah,
if he can pan out and stay healthy, he could turn that whole draft around for the Oakland Raiders and John Gruden. But otherwise, I think they got a lot of question marks.
Well, I'm okay with a team taking a risk on a guy. Like one flyer, sure, take it. Take a risk on a guy that you think can perform maybe even out of a 5th round or 6th round spot.
Right.
But they took a lot of risks. They took a risk on Hurst with the heart condition. They took a risk on Arden Key, who's a raw player out of LSU with some off-the-field issues. Took a risk on small school tackle Brandon Parker. Just a lot of risk there and not a whole lot of sure things. So I'm with you on there. The Raiders had, I think, probably one of the tougher drafts. Is it trivia time?
We got to do trivia. I'm just itching to give away some freebies to all our listeners out there. Remember, we already gave away a $10 Lucky's gift card. We got plenty of zone coverage, swag, and gear. But before we get into trivia, I just got to tell you guys, again, Mother's Day is coming up. Make sure you talk to your server or a manager if you want to sign up and get a reservation going for Mother's Day. Of course, they got the great breakfast brunch going on. And every time I come in here, I bring my mom every year for Mother's Day. It's shoulder to shoulder. It's a great experience, but you better get your name down now and get reservations going. And then other specials, remember, they got breakfast till 1, so you got another hour 15. Happy hours going all day, which is crazy, and then $3 mimosas, which I know you've already dabbled in. So
3 or 4.
That speaks for itself. Anybody dabbling in a little all-day happy hour mimosa so far? Woo! There it is. A little whoop.
Put your glasses in the air.
Okay, so what do you got? Another trivia? Want to give away some more stuff?
Yeah.
Let's go.
All we do is give. We just give and we give.
All we do is.
And we give. It's another 1 through 10
okay.
type of question. You just got to come up and guess a number.
So you don't need to know anything. Just come up and throw a dart up on the board.
Just take the 10% shot.
What is the question?
How many drafts has Rick Spielman conducted as the Vikings
Who's Rick Spielman?
general manager? He is the Vikings general manager.
Okay.
He was named the general manager after some time of being with the organization, but he didn't become the GM until a certain point, and he's conducted all the drafts ever since then.
Got it.
How many drafts has he been in charge of?
So I just want to clarify. How many drafts has our general manager, Rick Spielman, conducted as the general manager, that actual title, since he's been tenured for the Minnesota Vikings?
We have a hat.
What are we doing?
Which you can wear forwards or backwards.
We got a hat.
We've got a T-shirt.
We got swag. We got more swag,
We
but
got
I need
gift cards.
somebody. I need somebody to come up and take a stab. This guy, come on up. Yep, I need you. You've been honed in. You've been
5?
locked in,
Is that
dude.
your guess? 5?
You've been locked in.
It's not 5.
I need you. Remember, if you come up and take a stab for a freebie, you just got to come up. Just give us your name in the mic
yes.
and take a stab. There he is. Now,
We've got-
Sir,
State your name, please.
just need your name here. Oh, can we get that up?
He's up.
Go ahead.
What? And
that on?
where are you from? It's on. Where are you from, Kyle? Lakeland, Minnesota. All right.
And wait a minute. How long have you been a Viking Rube?
How old is the hat?
Because that is fun. Can you just
Oh, I
can
love
you
it.
show everybody? That's probably the best retro Viking hat I've seen in a while. You never know what you're going to find when you come out to Lucky's in Burnsville. And how long, if I cut you, do you bleed purple?
That's kind of
Wow.
That was a
Yeah,
weird
sorry, I
question.
didn't want to get too
Wow,
dark
that
there.
got
Wow.
morbid.
No. Sorry. Yeah. Ready? Go ahead. Take a stab, man. You want to say the question one more time?
Sure. How many drafts has Rick Spielman conducted as the Vikings GM?
The answer is 6. 6?
Ooh, but if you include this one, it would be. Yeah.
There it is, baby. It's just
give or take one. I
like
mean, we got to have some wiggle room.
that. Okay, you got your option. I don't know if you want to go with the Lucky Sack because you got the Vikings retro, or we got swag. Tommy Guns will help you out with the swag over there, and you can try that. You can hear that mic at all.
So he was named GM in 2012.
Okay.
2012. So
Fair
12,
enough.
13,
Yep.
14, 15, 16, 17, and then this year would be 18, number 7.
Can't hear anything.
All right, we're trying to make sure the trivia can be heard right now. We've got some draft trends.
Okay.
I'm going to run by you, okay?
Okay.
Draft trends.
Fine by me.
Now, if you do your research, if you study a little bit, you can really predict what the Vikings are going to do any given draft because they do the same things every year. Now, let me run these by you. Mike Zimmer has a crystal ball
That's right.
in his office. You don't need a crystal ball, all right? The Vikings have only ever drafted one safety under Mike Zimmer and Rick Spielman.
That
in
blows my
partnership.
mind. Very important position in today's
safety.
NFL. It's a pass-happy league. Teams spread you out 3, 4, 5 wide if you ever watch a football game nowadays. Safety, a very important position. Vikings have been lucky to have such a great safety in Harrison Smith for so long, but I feel like, again, at the end of the day, it blows my mind that the Vikings haven't invested more in that position, such an important position.
So they didn't take a safety in this draft,
Okay.
predictably.
Yep.
All right, how about this one?
Okay.
They've taken 4 cornerbacks in the first or second round over the last 6 drafts.
That speaks volumes to me about how important of a position that cornerback position is for Mike Zimmer, because he's always been known as the DB guru, right? Going back to his days where he won a Super Bowl with the Dallas Cowboys. Remember, Mike Zimmer's been in the league a long time. It wasn't up until, 5 years ago now when the Vikings finally hired him as a head coach. Everybody in the league, you heard it, was very ecstatic for him, said, hey, Mike Zimmer's been long overdue for a head coaching position. I think cornerback, though, of all the positions, has always been his kind of baby, right? His quote-unquote kind of his position that he feels very comfortable and confident. You give me a guy with raw ability, attributes, all the talent, he'll turn him into hopefully the next Deion Sanders, what he did back in Dallas. So I think just stemming to your point, I think cornerback certainly a position that he favors over safety, like you mentioned.
Okay, these are only going to get more bizarre.
Okay.
They've taken a tight end in the 5th or 6th round 4 consecutive years. They're trying to find that Kyle Rudolph backup. They took the very athletic Bucky Hodges last year. Didn't pan out for him.
Didn't pan.
Michael Pruitt a couple of years ago.
That's right.
Didn't pan out. David Morgan.
That's right.
The burly blocking tight end.
Yep.
He's still on the team. But And again, this year, they took Tyler Conklin.
Remember, even going back to that first year with Spielman, Red Ellison, He was one of my favorites, Red Ellison. Now you've got David Morgan kind of playing that role. But certainly, yeah, the trends are there. And I think we heard Rick Spielman in his press conference in Eagan. Again, we were in Eagan at the new TCO Vikings headquarters all weekend. Phenomenal facility. Really impressed with what the Wilfs are doing, the Vikings owners, with that new practice facility. Eden Prairie is out. I don't know if you got a stat on that. How long have they been going to Winter Park in Eden Prairie? Because that was a great run there for a while. And I don't even know, what are they going to do with all that? I mean, what do they do now with Winter Park? I always wonder about that. What do you do with the big building in Eden Prairie, the Vikings headquarters? What do you do?
I've heard it's pretty cleared out for now. I suppose they can lease it, they can rent it. But there's a lot of space there, a lot of square footage.
Something I feel like
You've
maybe
got a field house with a low ceiling and a football field and a couple goalposts. What do you do there?
I got to wonder if maybe a high school team gets involved. You want to use that space and that, again, multi-seasonal area because obviously, as we know here in Minnesota, it's tough for these high school kids in any athlete or any sport to practice outside. And again, you get 4 or 5 weeks and that's it. And then boom, all of a sudden I've graduated or the season's over. So I would think and assume or at least hope that the Vikings headquarters in Eden Prairie, the old Winter Park, they use that for maybe the Eden Prairie Eagles, although they don't need the help, do they?
No, they don't need any more resources, that's for sure.
No.
I got two more of these.
Okay.
Two more of these. I mentioned this one earlier. 7 straight years the Vikings have taken a linebacker in the 7th round.
That's wild.
How about if somebody...
Are any of them good?
I mean,
do any of them pan out ever?
Stephen Weatherly. Well, I was just going to...
More of a DN now, but really, I love him. You're right. I love him.
Hasn't had a great track record. Edmund Robinson splashed a couple times.
Yep.
Adi Cole.
Yep.
Remember that name?
Adi Cole was phenomenal for a while. Sam, we're talking about day 3 or 7th round linebackers. You can't hope for too much. But again, like we said earlier, you just throw some darts up on the board, call them lotto tickets. You try to cash one in. Hopefully one of them hits. Adi Cole, I thought, was a good one. Michael Mauti, another one from Penn State. I thought he, again, for the value, was a good bang for the buck.
And he was an impact player for the Saints, actually,
That's
after
right.
he left the Vikings.
That's right.
He carried on his career. He might have had the best career out of any of those guys.
That's right.
All right, last one, last trend.
Okay.
The Vikings love.
Boy, you did a lot of research on this. These are deep stats here for our Surface fans out there in La La Land.
It's a lot of number crunching. It's a lot of 3 a.m. research sessions. 14 ACC draft picks with Spielman and Zimmer
now
as a drafting tandem.
For the people that don't know, let's put it like this. The Gophers, the Minnesota Golden Gophers, are in the Big Ten. That's the Michigans, the Gophers, the Ohio States, now Maryland and teams like that, Michigan State. The AAC, the ACC, is the team the conference that Rick Spielman loves to draft guys out of. Florida, Florida State, Louisville, Teddy Bridgewater came from there. Plenty other schools, and
Boston
that seems
College, Pittsburgh.
There you go.
Brian O'Neill.
Yes,
the 2nd-round pick, ACC guy. You know which conference they don't really like too much?
What?
The Big 12.
The
Just two.
Big 12.
Big 12 draft
and that's
picks.
the Oklahoma States, the Baylors, the
Kansas,
Kansas,
Texas Tech,
A&M, Texas Tech, Texas Community Technical.
So
those are made up, those last few.
So if you go into next year's draft,
Yep.
Let me tell you what you can expect. You can expect a tight end.
Yeah.
5th or 6th round.
Just every year. It's like clockwork now.
7th round.
Yep.
Maybe a high cornerback if they're still trying to establish.
Well, I hope he's
depth.
not high, but I certainly hope he's good. Hey-o.
Zing.
Yada-dum.
ACC,
Yep.
not much Big 12.
Yeah,
and
crazy.
there you have it.
I will say this, about the Big 12, I've done a lot of scouting. I watch a lot of film. I grind the film and tape, as they say. The Big 12 is known for being a very high-scoring conference. You ever flip to a Texas A&M, or Baylor, Oklahoma game? It's 65-69. Nice. I feel like you don't find a lot of great defense. I feel like you can find some great quarterbacks, though, some great receivers and great running backs. Hence, Baker Mayfield was the number 1 pick overall. We're talking about a quarterback from Oklahoma, won the Heisman. He's going to go to the Cleveland Browns and try to save the Cleveland Browns franchise. That's Baker Mayfield. That's where you find those guys in that conference. You're not going to find a lot of defensive studs, unfortunately.
All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to grade 2 more of the Vikings picks. We're going to do a trivia question. Then we're going to take a break and bring on Matthew Coller of ESPN.
We got
Radio.
Matthew Coller here?
He's right behind us.
From ESPN, the Matthew Coller, ESPN 1500, ESPN.com? Wow. No. You stay. You're eating. What are you enjoying? The Captain Crunch French toast? Okay. What'd you end up getting there, Matt? BLT. You can't go wrong. Remember, Lucky's has lunch going on. They got the full menu. I enjoy the breakfast. It goes until 1 o'clock. Happy hour. Happy hour going on all day, you guys. And then $3 mimosas. I don't want to sound redundant, but again, sign up, talk to your server, talk to the manager, whatever you got to do to make sure you get your reservations in now for Mother's Day weekend, Mother's Day Sunday. They got a phenomenal brunch and a bunch of other specials. It's the best time. You celebrate with Mom, you bring her in, you buy the tab. It's an enjoyable time for the family and friends. I do it every year, and no regrets with that one.
And make sure you tell your mother that you love her. I mean, that's really get her a
gotta.
card. Say some
You
nice
gotta.
words. Spend some time.
Yeah.
Give her a phone call.
You got to
All
nowadays.
right. We're working backwards with these draft picks. We're giving a grade for all 8 of them.
'Kay.
We're going to give a grade for Daniel Carlson.
So we're talking about the
kicker.
Vikings draft picks, working our way from the bottom to the top.
Daniel Carlson,
Yep.
kicker, Auburn, and Colby Gossett,
Sure.
guard. I hope I'm saying it right. Appalachian State.
Appalachian State. Yep. Well, I've broken down
You
Colby
say
Gossett.
Appalachia. I say Appalachia.
Yeah, you say apple, I say apple, you say potato, I say potato. Here's the deal with Colby Gossett. No, we're not talking about Colby cheese, although he could be a little cheesy on the interior because he's going to need some help. I think that Colby Gossett's a great body right now for training camp. I look at the acquisitions they've made, though, Sam, in the last 4 or 5 months. And Nick Easton was re-signed. He's going to be the starting left guard, you would think. Josh Andrews was brought over from the Philadelphia Eagles with Mike DiFilippo, the offensive coordinator now for the Eagles, now for the Vikings. You know he's got some ties, and he likes him. Remember, though, they signed Tom Compton, a local native boy from Minnesota. What high school did Tom Compton play at?
Rosemount, big rival of the Burnsville Blaze.
Anybody go to Rosemount by chance? Because you might have seen or heard of Tom Compton, who was drafted by the Washington Redskins. He flipped around. He went to the Atlanta Falcons, and now he's here in Minnesota with the Minnesota Vikings. I think he could be a sleeper to be the starting right guard. Tom Compton, keep an eye on that. And then, of course, Danny Isidora, we drafted him from Miami. I think he's the guy, again, I have high hopes for. He's got a good ceiling. Again, anytime you come from Miami, AAC guys, ACC guys, I keep calling it AAC. ACC guys. Danny Isidora, I think, would be sleepers. So, coming back and bringing full circle, our 6th-round pick, number 213 overall, Colby Gossett from Appalachian State. Think he'll be a great body guy. If anything, I'll be honest with you guys, I hope he can maybe make the practice squad. If anything, you let these late-round guys get bigger, get stronger, learn the playbook, learn the nuances of the NFL, and then in 2019, maybe even 2020, you bring them back and see if they can pan in the NFL. Let's talk about Daniel Carlson, though. A kicker from Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
Now, wait a minute. The Vikings drafted a kicker from Auburn. Now, does anybody remember the last time we drafted a kicker? What happened? I know it's not even noon. You guys are maybe just rolling out of bed, but let's think about this.
You know how are you? This is nerdy, but do you read those Harry Potter books? You know how you're not supposed to say.
I don't. I know my wife over here does. She loves the Harry Potter books. She might have a Harry Potter tattoo.
Like Blair Walsh.
2 of them,
That's
maybe.
Like
I don't know.
He who must not be named. Like, we're not supposed to say that.
Right.
So I'm not going to say it again.
You're not going to say Blair Walsh's name again. Yeah, well, that's what happened last time we drafted a kicker, Blair Walsh, who, remember, started out good. Not the greatest ending note. As we know, Daniel Carlson with pick 167 as a kicker from Auburn. Now, here's what I love about Daniel Carlson, you guys. And if you take away anything from today's show about any boring, goofy, dumb stat, it's this. Daniel Carlson, the kicker we drafted, the new Vikings kicker, made every single extra point through his entire collegiate career.
That's a 20-yard extra point.
That's the opposite of what Blair Walsh did to us, right? In the Seattle game and some other stuff. Daniel Carlson made 198 straight extra point kicks And that's all I got to say.
Here's what I have to say, and I'm a little more maybe pessimistic about
Sure.
this. And I think there's reason to be optimistic about the kicker, Daniel Carlson. But I think competition brings the most
It brings
out of
out the
players.
best, for sure.
So the Vikings now, by taking a kicker,
They got Kai Forbath
in the 5th round.
Right.
But they've now spent the highest draft pick ever in franchise history on a kicker. So they're locked in. Like, this is their guy, most likely.
That's right.
So I don't see Kai Forbath sticking around for long.
No, you can't keep 2 of them.
No, because
Absolutely
you're
not.
and you don't want them to compete in preseason.
No,
because,
absolutely not.
because
You want them to get reps, right?
What if Kai Forbath wins that competition? Then you're forced to probably cut your 5th-round pick. Do you want to do that?
That's right.
You got to ride this guy out. So I think the Vikings are limiting themselves and locking themselves in maybe to a kicker, and you don't know how he's going to respond at the NFL level. You don't know how he's going to respond to the 33-yard extra point.
That's right.
The college extra point's 20 yards.
That's right.
The NFL extra point, 33 yards.
What do you got there? $3 mimosa? All righty. Well, you just write that off. That's a write-off. So,
And Daniel Carlson, remember, that's my mimosa. Provide some
that's
kick,
right.
some kick with your brunch.
And a little bit of buzz, a little bit of drama
There's
going
a
on
lot
with Dan
of buzz
Carlson.
around
I
the
don't know
kicker
what the
selection.
deal is, you guys. Again, if you're just tuning in, we are Zone Coverage. Sam Ekstrom, Luke Inman, zonecoverage.com. Sign up for the premium subscription, just like ESPN or any of those other hotshot websites. Ours is just $3 a month, though, and you get all our premium content, talking about our draft recap. We were in Eagan all weekend. Come up after the show if you are interested in any kind of news, buzz, drama, or rumors going on that we may have learned in Eagan. We got all the hot spots, and again, we were in Eagan at the new TCO Viking facility, and it was, I got to be honest, that was my first time there. I know you've been there covering the Vikings for the past few months. I am blown away. Has anybody driven by the TCO Vikings practice facility off 494 there?
This
Anybody
young
at all?
lady here?
Anybody? Yeah?
Yeah.
What do you think?
The lights
Oh.
are bright.
All right. You can't write that off, dude. What? Yeah, it's phenomenal. You've been in there.
Let's put it this
Yep.
way. If you drove by Winter Park at the wrong angle, you might not be sure what you're really driving
Sure.
by. If you drive by TCO Performance Center, there's no doubt in your mind
That's right.
what you have just passed. That
Yeah.
is the home of the Minnesota Vikings.
For sure.
We were there covering. We've got plenty of premium content. And again, if you want to be a yearly member at Zone Coverage, $24 for a year. You get a T-shirt. You get restaurant gift cards.
Yep.
You get all the access that you could possibly want.
Well, it's kind of a joke because you pay for the $25 for the year subscription on zonecoverage.com for our premium subscription, but you end up getting over $25 of freebies back anyways. So I don't know who set that up. You know, I should talk to my boss back here. Are we making any money? We give away so much free stuff to all our fans, listeners, and readers.
I mean, this is a financial disaster right now.
Can you
right?
write any of this off?
We're
Is it a
giving
write-off?
so much away.
It's a write-off. You just write it off. Got it. Yeah.
Speaking
so
of freebies.
a lot of stuff here. Can we give away more stuff? That's all I want to do.
Trivia. It's trivia time.
Yeah?
Ring the trivia bell.
Bing, bing, bing.
This one I think is pretty easy. You know, if you follow,
Okay.
and I don't want to put people on the spot, but if you follow the Vikings the past 4 years, you can probably put this one together pretty easily. Who is the only player left from the Vikings 2014 draft? Who's the only one left on the Vikings from the draft in Mike Zimmer's first year? If anybody knows the answer, approach the table.
I want somebody from the back here who hasn't participated yet. We're giving away free money. It's gift cards. It's swag. Say the question again for us one more time.
And as I read it, I'll style the hat you can win.
Yep.
Who is the only player left on the Vikings from their 2014 draft class? I'll give you a hint. It's a first-round pick.
Ooh, okay.
That might be a dead giveaway.
Yep, that could be. That could be.
Now I hear at this table murmurings
I
and
feel like
mumblings.
this crowd might have some Vikings fans in there. We'll see if they can maybe take a stab. Remember, all you got to do, you do have to come up, though. Grab the mic. Tell us where you're from. Tell us how long you've bleeded purple. I don't know if I said that right, but
you said it last time, and things got serious quickly.
That's right. That's right. And then coming up. Oh, we got one right here. Just come on up. Yep, right over here.
Just hazard a name. No.
Right.
That's okay. I get nervous, too, talking in front of people. I'm nervous right now. I'm terrified. Butterflies. But the hat does look pretty good. Forward, backward. Anybody. The 2014 draft. Who is left on the team? We'll leave that out there. You can mull it over for the next few minutes. You can do a Google search. We're going to take a short break. Matthew.
Wait a minute. There she is. Comes out of left field. Here she is. Okay, we might have a stab right here. Let's see if this is even.
Have her tuck
we
into
got
that
our.
one.
We got our.
No,
is that going?
Use this one. Yeah, no, it was turned up last time.
Okay, here we go. Just first, your name. Thank you for joining and participating on a beautiful Sunday here at
Lucky's.
Lucky's.
Been fully sanitized. It's
yes, I promise. Yes,
totally clean.
Real quick, your name?
Jessica Markley.
Perfect. And where are you from, Jessica?
Northfield, Minnesota.
Northfield, Minnesota.
And you made the trip just for this show.
Oh, for sure.
Thank you so much for the support. You were waiting and anticipating all night. I know you didn't get much sleep. You're so excited. Who do you think is the only player left on the Vikings roster from that 2014 NFL draft? I'll be very impressed if you can nail this one.
I thought about it really hard.
Yeah, you thought about it hard.
I
Yep.
think it's linebacker Anthony Barr.
Wow! Look at this girl. Wow.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. She bleeds purple. I'm assuming you want the $10 gift card, right?
I do.
Absolutely. $10 gift card. It's that easy. Thank you so much. Answer was Anthony Barr, UCLA linebacker. If you want to stick around and help us, we need a third wheel. You certainly can. If you got to get back to breakfast, you certainly can do that as well. Thank you for participating. Tell your friends back there to jump back up here, too. We got more gift cards. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. It's that easy.
All right, we're taking a short pause. Matthew Coller, ESPN Radio, around the corner here at Lucky's. Make sure you sneak in your breakfast order. You've still got another 50 minutes, actually 48 minutes. The clock is ticking. $3 mimosas. I'm going to get another one.
We heard Rick Spielman talk about it, the interior line class. We heard Jamal Stevenson, the head scout directing, say there was a big run on interior linemen I just didn't see happening. In your opinion, kind of one unique thing that you saw from this draft?
Well, I think you nailed it with the quarterbacks. I mean, the guards did surprise the Vikings, apparently. It didn't surprise me to see that they went so fast because there were so many good prospects there to go in the second round. Usually the interior line is talked about a position you can get later on, and it wasn't this year. But I don't know if we'll see a situation again where this many quarterbacks go this high. And the other thing that surprises me is just that teams haven't learned over the years some of the telltale signs of making a mistake at that position. And I'm not guaranteeing that Josh Allen is bad or guaranteeing that Josh Rosen will be great. Maybe someday our conversation will look silly and I'll have it completely wrong. But when you're playing the odds, the numbers from the guy in college, the makeup, the skill set, and what actually translates to successful quarterbacks in this era, not, hey, remember Dan Marino didn't have the greatest stats or something? Like, come on, we're talking about years and years ago now.
Come on, man.
Right, come on. This is the 1980s. That in today's game, it's a lot of football intelligence. It's a lot of footwork. It's a lot of precision accuracy, being able to lead guys on intermediate throws. And Rosen and Mayfield, I thought, were ahead of everybody else with those two things. And yet Rosen drops all the way to 10th. And I thought Arizona got the biggest steal of the draft in that way.
Point.
And here's Josh Allen, the big arm guy, could throw it 70 yards and all that. But it kind of reminds me of a kicker. The guy could kick it 90 yards. But if he's not accurate, it doesn't really matter. And you always see somebody get drafted because they have a big leg. I don't know about this guy that the Vikings picked, but because he has a big leg but he isn't accurate. Well, we can teach him accuracy. You really can't.
Can you?
You really can't.
Can you, though?
And would you draft a guy who didn't dominate at Wyoming?
Right.
8th overall. I think most of us would just say no right away to that, and yet somehow there's an NFL team that thinks that was the right move. And also, the Denver Broncos got a great player.
I think they did.
I'm certain they did.
Yep.
But the fact that they didn't draft quarterback and they stuck with Case Keenum.
Well, they got Case Keenum.
That surprised me because I think we know some of Case Keenum's shortcomings.
I think it shows you how important and really how overvalued the quarterback position is at times, especially during this time of year, during the offseason, during the draft, during free agency. You see a guy like Case Keenum get paid a ton of money. You see a kid like Josh Allen, to your point, for the Buffalo Bills, get traded up to the pick number 7, and really give up a lot of equity, a lot of money, basically, to go get Josh Allen. Unproven dude. And they all have question marks. You never know. Even Andrew Luck had some question marks. But again, an unproven dude who, wow, you just gave up your future. You mortgaged your future. But if you hit on him, it don't matter.
Right,
you got
right.
your guy.
And
if you don't, you just set your franchise back another 5 years.
And I'm okay with teams that have made bold moves to get quarterbacks in recent years. It worked out really well for Philadelphia with Carson Wentz. And I think it'll work out really well for Kansas City for getting Pat Mahomes last year and trading their first-round pick. To do that, I think they got themselves a future franchise quarterback who may be dropped for not the right reasons, too.
Right.
But when it comes to Josh Allen, I think that's much more risky. So it has to be the right player. And sometimes it is really hard to tell which guy is going to work out, which guy's not. Deshaun Watson looks like he's a franchise quarterback. So, teams dropped him a little bit because his stats weren't quite what some people wanted to be, or he didn't throw the ball quite hard enough, and there were a few different criticisms of him. But if you have a quarterback that you really want, philosophically, it's worth it. But you also should know, if you're the Buffalo Bills, you are putting your entire future as a front office and coaching staff on him, and that's not the guy that I would do it on. I would put it much more on the guy who played in the big conference, who's the smart guy, who is accurate in short and intermediate passes, who has great footwork and could come in right now. I'd much rather do it for that guy than someone I'm taking a big risk on.
Amazing stuff from Matthew Coller, 1500 ESPN, 1500ESPN.com. Covering the Vikings. I know you got a busy Sunday afternoon. Go hang out with your Greyhound and break down some Ade Aruna tape, all right?
Yeah, I'm going to leave that to Luke. I'm just going to follow him on.
Luke's already done
stop.
it. Yeah. Luke's already done it.
Stop it. Unbelievable. Thank you so much for stopping by, man. Big wig, Matthew Coller, put your hands in the air, throw your drinks up in the air. ESPN 1500, Matthew Coller. Check out all his phenomenal work on ESPN.com. Appreciate you, man.
Thanks, guys.
You the man. Appreciate it.
We have a trivia competition.
Can we give away more stuff, please?
We're going to give away more stuff. We're going to give away the biggest stuff. We're going to give away a membership, a yearly membership to Zone Coverage. That means T-shirt, that means restaurant gift cards, that means access to all the Zone Coverage work. I believe Tom, our boss and our founder, he's got his fist in the air. He's going to go get our participants, and we're going to go through some trivia. But while he does that, we're going to grade 2 more Vikings picks. We're going to grade the Jalen Holmes and Tyler Conklin picks. Luke, we're going to do 2 more grades, man.
Let's do it.
Working backwards from bottom to top. Jalen Holmes, 4th-round pick, Ohio State. What's your grade?
Jalen Holmes was a guy from Ohio, the Ohio State. Remember, he kind of got buried on the depth chart a little bit at Ohio State. Guys like Joey Bosa and even his younger brother Nick Bosa came along. Kind of got buried, but I'm telling you, from a physicality standpoint, Jalen Holmes it brings everything to the table. Length, height, speed, athleticism, quickness, agility, stuff that you usually don't find in a 4th-round pick 102. I think it comes down to this, Sam. He wasn't ultra-productive, if people ask, but again, you get down to it, and he's a guy that gives you all the height, weight, speed stuff, the stuff you can't teach. And he's a guy that brings all that to the table. Coach Andre Patterson, our defensive line coach, and Coach Mike Zimmer are going to have a lot of pressure on themselves to develop these guys. But I think Jalen Holmes is a guy like Everson Griffin, who was drafted in the 4th round, is now one of the best defensive ends in the league. I think Jalen Holmes could be a type of impact player if you give him 2-3 years.
Well, you just compared him to Griffin. I compare him to Brian Robinson. Both were taken 4th round 102. Both defensive end can move inside. I give it a B-. Jalen Holmes, I think you could have done maybe a little better if you wanted to address that issue with the 3 technique, but I think it was a pretty good 4th round alternative.
Let me just chirp in this, too. He was a defensive end at Ohio State for the Buckeyes. I think his size and speed says he's more of a defensive tackle for the Minnesota Vikings. He's going to have to bulk up 10, 15 pounds, but that's more of the position that we're desperate for any type of depth. Look at the Philadelphia Eagles. Did anybody watch the Super Bowl? The Philadelphia Eagles had an unbelievable defensive line rotation. That was a kind of a squad that I think laid out the blueprint for the rest of the NFL to kind of copycat in a copycat league. Jalen Holmes, I expect him to move inside a defensive tackle.
All right, Tyler Conklin, tight end. 4th straight year they've taken a 3rd-day tight end. Went to Central Michigan.
Yeah.
That's not P.J. Fleck's school. Let's just be clear about that.
No.
PJ Fleck, Western Michigan. I made that mistake once. Not going to make it again.
Right.
I give it a B+. I like his basketball background. He had 11 touchdowns the last 2 years for the Chippewas, I believe they're called. I think the basketball background is going to help him.
That's what it's all about
High
now.
point. It's going to help him box out in the red zone.
That's what it's
I think
all
he's
about.
going to be a touchdown scoring threat. He's going to be a third down reception threat. I think he could play a little bit right away. Maybe it's just 20 snaps a game, but I think he's going to be a viable pass catcher early on.
Yeah, I think the basketball background is what the NFL is just screaming for nowadays. Remember Antonio Gates?
Yes.
Antonio Gates was a basketball background type of guy, was not polished in any way coming out of college, but he's got that big body basketball background. That's what coaches and GMs and scouts are looking for now in the NFL. They want those big body dudes who can post up in the red zone. Tyler Conklin is that kind of guy from Central Michigan. I'm expecting at least him to be on the 53-man roster because, again, they only got, let's look at it, Kyle Rudolph and David Morgan. That's it.
Well, don't forget about my boy Blake Bell.
Well, Blake
but
Bell,
I agree with you. Blake Bell's probably not going to win out over your draft pick.
And Bell's coming off an ACL injury as well. Don't forget about that, too. And that ended his career, or his season short last season. So I would expect them in a Mike DiFilippo. Remember, we got a new offensive coordinator, guys. He came from Philadelphia.
John
I
D.
think John. I call him Mike. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, first name basis.
DiFilippo runs a lot of 3 tight end sets. How are they going to run 3 tight end sets that he loves to do if they don't bring in a tight end? Tyler Conklin's that guy. We'll see how rookie OTAs go for Tyler Conklin. If he can get up to speed right away this next week, which you tell me, you would know more. Are the rookie OTAs this upcoming next weekend already?
Next weekend, week from now.
So coaches are going to get a first-hand look right away on how these tight ends look, on how all these rookies look right away. And I think Tyler Conklin hopefully can make an impact because we need a third tight end. Hopefully Tyler Conklin can be that guy.
So Tom Schreier, put your hand in the air.
That's our boss.
Do you
Can you
see
believe
how
that?
do you see how lost
Is that
and
crazy?
sad he looks right now? It's because nobody is coming forward to have a trivia
we
contest.
did all that recruiting, you guys.
He looks really sad. So to make Tom happy, we need at least 2 people to compete in a trivia battle royale for wonderful prizes given to you by Zone Coverage.
We're talking about gift cards. We're talking about hats. Is that a mesh hat? Wow. Crazy in this economy.
Have I
We're talking about
have I modeled
shirts.
it yet?
We're talking about swag. And again, guys, don't feel maybe a little overwhelmed because this is not going to be
We're pretty lenient.
an in-depth kind of draft or Vikings quiz or trivia. So come on up.
I think these 2 tables, they've definitely had the greatest participation level.
Right.
I feel like we can get 2 participants out of these 2 close tables here. Just throwing it out there. You've been very good audience, very engaged.
Yep.
Looks like Tom is recruiting pretty hard over here.
Hope so.
He's selling. We've got 1.
Hope so.
We've got 1.
Yeah, we
2.
got 1. Here we go.
Oh!
Let's go.
We've got 3.
Let's
we have 3?
go. Bring her
Or
back
2?
up. Allison. Yep, no, we need you. We need you. We need that demographic over here. Watch. She's going to end up winning.
Okay.
I guarantee you she'll end up winning somehow. Come on up. We got 3 of them, guys. Come on up. Give everybody a round of applause, first of all. I know Allison's got low cold feet. Come on up. Come on up. Sam, break it down for us. What do we got? Come on up, guys. Come on up. Stand up. Yep.
Let's get real comfortable in here.
We got, what, 5 questions?
We've got 5 questions.
Okay.
The winner gets a Zone Coverage year-long membership as well as some of the swag we've got right here. Step right up. 5 questions.
And how are you going to do this, Sam? Are you going to do just kind of first come? Are you going to ring in a buzzer? What are you going to do, Sam?
I'm going to have you
if you
ring
know
in.
It.
If you know it, put your hands in the air like you just signaled the touchdown, okay? Both hands.
Like a field goal
Not
or
just
touchdown.
one. We need 2 hands. We need to embarrass you a little bit, make you feel uncomfortable.
Of course.
Okay.
And what are we giving away? We're giving away a couple $10 gift cards,
Zone
and some
Coverage
swag
membership.
and a hat. Okay.
That's gift cards,
Got it.
T-shirt, access to the website. Okay.
Got it. And again, there's no penalty if you get it wrong, right?
No
so
penalty.
You might as well just throw something up.
Shout
if you
out
think
names.
You know. Okay.
Question 1.
All right.
It's out of 5.
Out of 5. And wait a minute. Can you go around and just give everybody's name real quick and introduce everybody? Tom,
yeah,
you got
Tom.
That? Just real quick. I know we got Allison. She's a sports buff. Where are you from, Allison?
Originally from Red Wing, Minnesota.
Red Wing,
Nice.
Minnesota. Of course you are. And how long have
very-
you been a Viking fan?
All my life.
All your life.
Oh.
She bleeds purple. That's
Love
why
it.
I love her. That's what we got here. Next, who else we got up here?
Rich,
Rich. Where are you from, Rich?
Apple Valley.
Apple Valley, representing
Okay.
Apple Valley. And how long have you bleed purple? I can
Whole
tell
life.
you
Whole
bleed
life.
purple. Whole life, baby. And last,
lifers.
but not least,
Will.
Will.
Big
From
Will.
Burnsville.
Will I am. From Roseville, you said? Burnsville. Got it. So we got a couple locals here and a Red Wing. Okay, Sam. Pressure's on.
Question 1. Which undrafted Vikings player made the Pro Bowl last season?
Oh.
Will.
Adam Thielen.
That's correct.
Nice. Very good.
One in
Adam
the Will
Thielen.
column.
Will. Okay.
Will. 1 in Will's.
Okay. Now,
Yeah,
now
Will.
everybody's got one under their belt now. So now you know.
Now the nerves are gone.
Right. Now you know. Okay. Okay. Go ahead.
All
Number
right.
2.
Okay. I actually just alluded to this one.
Okay.
We mentioned that Jalen Holmes was the 102nd pick in the in the 4th round.
That's right.
So is Brian Robinson. There's
That's
a theme
right.
developing here.
That's
Which
right.
other Vikings offensive player?
Woo. What was it?
He rung in. He's got to take a guess.
Mike Remmers.
Incorrect. So he's out for the round.
What was the question?
So
Can you
here's,
repeat?
yep, here's the question.
Yep. Can you repeat?
Which other Vikings offensive
Okay.
player was taken in the 4th round, 102nd overall?
What, like a starter or just a player? Or
Starter.
A starter on offense. It was taken in the 4th round. I don't even know
102nd
if
pick.
I know this.
He's a new acquisition.
Any guess? Any guess? Let's go over the starters here. Okay,
He
Adam
is-
Thielen was already called. Stefan.
He's a quarterback.
Oh, he's a quarterback.
Kirk Cousins.
Yes!
Kirk Cousins, baby. There it is. Kirk Cousins.
Very good. Very
Kirk
good.
Cousins.
Allison
I like
on
it.
the board.
Okay.
Will, would you have known that one if you heard the whole thing? Okay, that was a tough one.
Yeah.
Who was the Vikings' first-round pick in 2017?
So that's just last year. Who's the first round pick last year? Is that like a. Boy, that's a stumper. I feel like that's a stumper.
Might be a trick.
No guess. I'll let 5, 4, 3.
Will.
We didn't have a first-round pick.
Correct!
Wow,
That's a trick question.
you did stump. You did stump it. Okay, so Will's got 2. Okay.
Yeah, took you for a loop there. All right.
2 questions
Two
left?
questions left. Will's in front.
Okay.
Which
Need it.
Vikings?
Need it.
Which Vikings first-round pick from 2013 currently plays for the New England Patriots?
Ooh.
Cordero Patterson.
Oh, Will
I
clinches it.
am Burnsville.
He clinches it.
Yeah,
And
let's do the one more. We'll
last
do a little
question,
bonus.
just for fun. We'll see if Rich
we'll
can get
do
on
a
the
little
board.
bonus.
Randy Moss was drafted in the first round in 1998. He's
Yep.
going into the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
But which other Viking was selected in 1998
Right.
who made 6 Pro Bowls?
That's a tough one, too. 6 Pro
Also
Bowls.
won a Super Bowl.
98.
Not with
I'm
the
going to give you a
Vikings.
guess. He's on.
Matt Burke.
That's right.
Wow. This
That's
guy.
right, Matt Burke.
This guy, man.
A 6th-round pick.
Unbelievable. I'm assuming you want the $10 gift card.
Tom's going to talk to you and get your information for our
Okay.
membership. Okay, talk to Tom.
Yeah.
Tom, you got
Okay.
that? All right. Very good. Thanks, Will. Thanks, Rich. Thanks, Allison. We
Allison,
appreciate it.
Make sure you get a
Hey,
shirt. At least
hey,
get
do
some
it.
swag for
Consolation
coming
prizes.
up, man.
Consolation prizes.
Find an XL in there somewhere. Allison, come get yourself a T-shirt at least. You can divvy those up.
We'll get you the right size if we
Tom
don't
will
have
help
it.
you. Tom will help you out. Get yourself a shirt. Get yourself, and Tom's going to hook you up with the new. What they get?
The membership.
New membership. Talk to us about the new membership.
New membership. You can get all the access to every zone coverage premium piece of content, draft guides, all sorts of videos. Luke's great breaking those down. We've also got restaurant gift cards, T-shirts, and special events for members. It's really good stuff. Luke, we're coming down to the wire here, but we've got to break down the final 2 picks, give our grades.
Sure.
Okay. So the 2nd-round pick's Brian O'Neill.
Yep.
We've talked about him a little bit already.
Mm-hmm.
Out of Pittsburgh, offensive tackle, 62nd pick. What's your grade on the Pittsburgh guy?
I'll tell you what. Initially, Sam, I don't like this pick that much. I'd give it a C, maybe a C minus. And I'm a homer. I bleed purple. I would usually encourage or support any Rick Spielman pick or Mike Zimmer pick, but Brian O'Neill saying when he looked at it, there was a big run on offensive linemen early on. They missed out on a lot of big names, talking about Connor Williams from Texas, talking about Will Hernandez from UTEP. I was disappointed they couldn't land any of those names. Maybe Austin Corbett from Nevada. Little bum. Brian O'Neill, ultra athletic. I actually talked to and sat down with Brian O'Neill when I was at the Senior Bowl in Mobile, Alabama. I broke him down, and I got to talk to him one-on-one. He's a nice dude. He's a big dude. He's a fun, energetic kind of guy. I'm excited to see how he develops in Minnesota, but it's going to take him a year, and I'll tell you why. He's got ultra athleticism, and when you break down Brian O'Neill and you look at his combine, he was one of the best offensive linemen at the combine, period. In the drills that matter, short shuttle, broad jump, 10-yard split, 20-yard split. Here's what he ranked. Second, third, and fifth out of every offensive lineman. He was also first in the 40-yard dash out of every offensive lineman. So you can see here what I'm trying to get at. Ultra athletic. I think Brian O'Neill could be a stud in the league, but it's going to take a year or two because what is he missing? What is he lacking? Why did he last till pick 62? He doesn't have NFL strength. He doesn't have that big boy, Ronnie kind of strength. You know what I mean? And I think that it might take a year, but he's going to have to gain 15, 20 pounds of that NFL type of strength. If he can, this could be a steal of a deal. But right now, I got to give it a C, maybe C+, as I sit here and talk myself back into it. I'll give it a C+.
What do I have written down
What
there?
did you give? A C+. Yeah, we got hashtag chemistry.
Not only is the letter matching, we got the plus minus matching up. Seems like for all these. I like the pick. I wish it would have been a guard. I wish it would have been a guard because I think I like Mike Remmers more at tackle, to be honest with you. He's played most of his career at tackle. The switch to guard feels a tad unnatural.
Yep.
And I think when you're young, you're raw. I think it's a little tougher to adjust when you're on an island like that,
No
and
doubt.
you have to go up against the best edge rushers in the world.
No doubt.
So, like you said, it might take a year, and I don't think Vikings fans wanted that when you needed an initial starter. So, Brian O'Neill, a C+ from both of us. That's the second round pick, and now
how about drum roll?
Finally arrived. Mike Hughes, the first round pick, number 30, out of UCF, cornerback. Again, might not be a starter the first year, according to Rick Spielman.
Maybe not.
You've got Trey Waynes, who's a free agent next year. Mac Alexander's had an underwhelming start to his career. Where does Mike Hughes fit into the equation?
Well, here's what I'll tell everybody listening out there in La La Land right now, enjoying your breakfast. Maybe we're onto the lunch menu. Remember, happy hour all day here at Lucky's, $3 mimosas. Remember to talk to your server or manager to get signed up for Mother's Day reservations. Here's what I'll say about Mike Hughes, man. You can't have enough good cover cornerbacks in the NFL now. When guys like Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, they're spreading you out 3, 4, 5 wide receivers. Guess what that means? You better have 3, 4, 5 wide cornerbacks that can cover those guys. Now, look at our just kind of group or family of corners now. We got first-round pick and stud Xavier Rhodes. Trey Waynes is a first-round pick. Mike Hughes now in the mix. Mac Alexander, Clemson, second-round pick. Don't forget about Terrence Newman might be in the mix still as well. So Mike Zimmer had my favorite quote of draft weekend. He got up there, he said, cornerbacks are like guns. I always need one more. Just speaks to Mike Zimmer's old school kind of philosophy. He always needs one more good cornerback. Didn't love the value, although I said this leading up to draft weekend. I said there's going to be a lot of quarterbacks to go. There's going to be a run on running backs and maybe receivers. I said there's going to be a great cornerback that falls in the lap of Rick Spielman and Mike Zimmer, and it might be too good to pass up on him. I said that all week, and sure enough, Mike Hughes from UCF, the undefeated UCF Knights, unbelievable. Remember, he started at North Carolina, ripped it up, off-the-field incident, transferred, went to a community college like a Normandale Lion Community College, destroyed it, scored 7 touchdowns, 4 as a running back, by the way, nobody knows, and 3 as a kick returner. He has unbelievable value as a kick returner. Remember, Vikings fans, we've always had a good kick returner. Talking about Percy Harvin, talking about Cordero Patterson. Now we have another one. Mike Hughes will be a dangerous kick returner. He should help out as a 4th and 3rd cornerback. I love this pick. I'm going to give it an A- right now. He could be one of the top 10 best cornerbacks in the league in 2 years.
I'll give it a B. There are red flags that concern me, but I can't quite look past all of them. Just the sum of those parts. He's a little short, doesn't have a lot of experience, off-field issues, but I try to be a good reporter for zone coverage, so I called up his junior college coach for zone coverage, zonecoverage.com. Called up his junior college. Nice.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Easy plug.
I called up his junior college coach, Jeff Sims.
You called up his coach?
Talked to him for 20 minutes.
What, do you know a guy?
Junior college coach Jeff Sims paints the picture of a perfect student of the game. He says that he is immaculately well-behaved, never had to correct him at all. See you, Matthew Coller. Matthew Coller, ESPN.
Matthew Coller, ESPN. Give him a round of applause, everybody.
Say hi. And he says that this kid is an absolutely perfect teammate. So
love that.
Since the 2015 incidents, there's nothing on his record. And he hasn't been with the same defensive coordinator or coach in any of his 3 years of college, 3 different schools. So once he gets consistent teaching from Mike Zimmer, this guy could be really great. And his JUCO coach actually told me he believes in 4 to 5 years he'll be one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL. That's a bold statement.
But again, add him to the mix of Xavier Rhodes, Trey Waynes, Mac Alexander. Look at the versatility the Vikings defense has with Harrison Smith, arguably the best safety in the league. The versatility. Again, guys, I'm trying to get you excited because people don't realize, even though it wasn't a big need at cornerback, Mike Hughes, UCF, this is going to give the Vikings defense and Mike Zimmer another toy that he's so desperately needed. I think, and I'm reaching out on a limb here, Sam, I think this is what he was hoping to get with Trey Waynes when he first made that second overall pick for the Vikings in 2015 and to get that kind of shutdown cornerback. Remember this, too. Last thing about Mike Hughes and the Vikings situation with the cornerback. Trey Waynes is due $13 million next year for his fifth-year option. Is he good? Yeah. Is he that good? So I don't know, man. I don't know if the Vikings are going to want to pay him $13 million. Remember, when you sign Kirk Cousins and give him $84 million, there's going to be cap casualties along the way. We already saw them trim the fat with Jerick McKinnon, Jarius Wright, Shamar Stephen, Tom Johnson, and others. Next year, could a big cap casualty be Trey Waynes? Maybe. Could it be Anthony Barr? Maybe. I'm telling you, you can't keep them all, though, when you pay Kirk Cousins $84 million and go on a Super Bowl run, push in those chips all in. I think maybe Trey Waynes may be on the way out after next year. Interesting. Bold take. They have the fifth-year option decision this week, but if they pick it up, it's not locking them in. That's a non-guarantee. It's only guaranteed for injuries, so they could still choose to move on from him even if they pick up that option. I've got 2 more questions for you, Luke. Okay. 2 more questions, and then we're going to let the people enjoy their lunches without. We got to give away some more stuff, though, too. Yeah, I think we got one more trivia, and I got a couple Vikings big picture questions for you based on this draft. All right? Yep. Okay. Most likely pick to win a starting job in camp, besides the obvious, the kicker, besides Daniel Carlson, who's going to win a starting spot? Well, I don't want to go too chalk pick, so to speak, but Mike Hughes, obviously the first-round pick, makes the most sense because we talked about, is Terrence Newman going to come back? I don't know. And even if he does, he's 39 going on 40 years old. Look at the amount of snaps that Terrence Newman played last year, and for a 38-year-old, 39-year-old cornerback in a Mike Zimmer Vikings defense, blows my mind. He played almost 40% of the defensive snaps. There's no way that can happen again. Terrence Newman's got to be on the way out. I think Mike Hughes could come in, soak up a lot of those play reps, play snaps. I think he'll get a lot of reps underneath his belt, at least right away at cornerback, special teams as a dangerous kick return man, and I think eventually as cornerback. Again, maybe they start weeding in or kind of weeding out Trey Waynes a little bit and letting Mike Hughes get those valuable reps. I'm excited for one day to see a Xavier Rhodes, Mike Hughes, Mac Alexander in the slot type of cornerback situation. Yeah, that's interesting. I'll agree with you on that one just because there's less competition for Mike Hughes than there is for a guy like Brian O'Neill. There's like 11 or 12 contenders on that Vikings offensive line, whereas Mike Hughes only has to be better than Mac Alexander or Terrence Newman to get reps.
in that secondary. So I'll go with Mike Hughes. But how about the flip side, Luke?
Yep.
Who is not going to be on the roster week 1 of the Vikings draft picks? Anyone going to be a casualty on cut day?
Well, you might think that their last pick, it's an easy, kind of lazy assumption that Devontae Downs, linebacker from California, wouldn't be, because obviously if he was the last drafted player, he's probably not that good. Well, not so fast, my friend. The linebacking depth, like we talked about, is thin already. Anthony Barr could be a free agent, could be let go next year. Are they going to pay him all that money? I'm not sure. Don't forget about Kentrell Brothers, our stud special teams boy, is serving a 4-game suspension for PEDs, which, by the way, you think if you got suspended for PEDs, you'd be like Sammy Sosa-ish or like, John Cena. Have you seen Kentrell Brothers?
He's like a bowling ball.
Yeah, it's interesting. Devontae Downs is not my pick. I'm going to say Colby Gossett, the guy Matthew Coller talked about earlier from ESPN 1500, a guard from Appalachian State. I think there's just too many bodies right now on that Viking depth chart. Remember, we had a great starting 5 last year. Nick Easton was re-signed. Tom Compton, the local hero around here from Minnesota, was re-signed. He started in Washington. He ended up going to Atlanta. Now he's in Minnesota. Again, he graduated from Minnesota. He's a local boy. And then Danny Isidora is another favorite of mine, a 5th-round pick from last year, got drafted from Miami. The talent is there. He started 39 straight games for Miami. I would like to see him get in the mix. Colby Gossett, 6th-round guard, pick 213. I think best-case scenario, hope him to sneak on the practice squad for a year, gain the strength, learn the nuances of the NFL, get down the playbook, and maybe in 2019 you hear his name. But I think Colby Gossett could be a long guy.
Luke, this has been a blast, man. But before we go,
we got to give away.
We got to give away one more thing.
Sure.
With one more trivia question.
Okay.
I think we should go with this one. How many Minnesota natives are on the current roster? You just mentioned one. That's a freebie.
Sure. Tom Compton, that's one. That's a freebie.
This is a 1 through 5 kind of guess.
Right. Maybe 1 through 6. I don't know.
Maybe 1 through 6. Come up here. Take a stab. Up. How many Minnesota natives are on the Vikings?
We're giving away free stuff. Remember, you can write it off. It's a hat. It's a shirt. It's gift cards. I don't care if you've already been up here.
You know what this is?
Come back up.
This is like a cabin hat, like a fishing hat. You put it on backwards. You lay on the beach. You've got a beer.
Absolutely. Okay, I need somebody. Ronnie, get your ass up here, man. Can I say that? I did. Come on up, man. I need you. I need you.
Put up. Okay, so of these
you're already
5
rocking
fingers,
a cabin hat.
Of these 5 fingers, put up any number of them and
get
see
them
if
up
you're
here.
right.
Get them up here.
You don't have to speak. Just signal.
Get them.
No, of 5 fingers, not 2, not 2 hands. 5 fingers. Of 5 fingers, how many fingers would you put up? 3, 2, 5, 4. Incorrect. But thank you for the guess. I appreciate it.
Okay, here's the question. Let me just lay this down here. And again, we're giving away free stuff. I hope that's okay, but we're giving away free stuff. How many Minnesota natives on the current roster, okay, how many Minnesota natives are on the current roster? I already gave you one, Tom Compton. If you want to guess, all you got to do is go. Oh, we got one? Come on up here. Okay, all we need is your name. What's your name?
Janie.
Janie. Is that with 1 E or 2?
2.
2 E's, Janie. Where are you from, Janie?
Apple Valley.
Apple Valley. And here's the question one more time. How many Minnesota natives are on the current roster?
4.
4. We got one.
Nailed it.
There it is.
Tom Compton, Marcus Sherrills,
CJ
Adam
Ham.
Thielen, CJ Ham.
Okay, I'm going to give you a gift card. If you want your pick, grab a T-shirt as well. Maybe you want the hat. I don't know. That's where we're at. We're
Cabin
giving away
hat,
stuff.
Summer hat.
What do you want? Do you want the gray?
Warmer weather. Take the
there
hat.
she is. It's that
Take
easy,
the hat.
everybody. Janie, 2 E's, Apple Valley. It's that easy. You got one more? I got some shirts. I'll tell you what. Here's where we're at. We're wrapping up. I know you guys are wrapping up breakfast brunch here at Lucky's. Remember, talk to your server or a manager. Get your reservations in for Mother's Day breakfast brunch buffet. It's always packed in here. It's an always good time. I promise you, you will love enjoying that day, that special Sunday with your mother here at Lucky's. $3 mimosas going on all day. Happy hour going on all day. And, of course, the lunch and dinner menu just kicked in as well. I want to give away these last few shirts. So all I want somebody to do is just come up and just name literally any Viking draft pick that you like, that you know, that you
Doesn't
remember.
Doesn't even have to be
I
this
don't
year.
care if it's this year. I don't care where they're from. I don't care anything about it. Just come up here and name one Viking draft pick. Just
it could
one
be
Viking
Troy
player.
Williamson,
your favorite player,
Chris
anything
Cook.
that you know about them. Come grab a T-shirt. It's free. Come on up. Throw a stab up there. And let's give away these last few prizes here to anybody who may have a guess. Anybody. Anything.
Just name a football player.
All you got to do,
Any
come on up.
football player.
You know the rules. All you got to do is just come on up. Remember, it could be a write-up.
I feel like Will
We
Ferrell's
got one. Yeah, come on
character
over to the
Celebrity
mic here.
Jeopardy.
Just name your name, please, and where you're from. Yep. Don't buckle under the pressure. Kind
Spotlight's
of a big deal.
shining bright
Yep,
right now.
It's not a big deal. There's a camera here, 1080p. Yep.
Turn
Is
it
she
on.
Yep.
Oh, no, this is perfect.
Okay. And your name, please?
I'm Jamie.
Jamie.
Hi, Jamie.
Yeah.
1 or 2?
22.
22. Okay.
22.
Not what I asked. Okay. And where are you from?
Lakeville.
Lakeville, beautiful. She's got the giggles, guys. She's been diving into those $3 mimosas. She's got the gigs. Okay, again, you can't get this wrong. Just name me a player, a Viking draft pick, anything you want, and I'm going to give you something. Whenever you're ready. Yep, whenever you're ready.
Go.
Does she understand? Did I not explain that right?
Adrian Peterson.
Wow!
Oh!
Adrian Peter, do you remember what position?
He was a running back.
Oh my
First
God!
First rounder.
Wow, unbelievable!
Yeah,
It's that
seventh
easy,
pick,
you guys.
2007
it's
draft.
that easy. She's a keeper, he says. Do you know that guy? I hope so. Okay, I got a white shirt, zone coverage, or check it out, we're getting crazy. I got a gray shirt. Huh? You want a white? Okay. Yep, Tom. Yep, absolutely. It's that easy. Everybody give Jamie a round of applause. From Lakeville, 22. It's easy game. Everybody's doing it. What do you got here? We got our boss up here. What's up? You give me
Tom, why don't you pop on the
give me the
headset
look,
as
dude.
we conclude?
Dude, these are write-offs. Don't get mad at me,
Write-offs.
dude. You
The
just
write-offs.
write them
We've
off.
given
Write
away
everything
It's
the
fine, dude.
entire
Get mad at
warehouse of
me.
zone coverage
Yeah.
swag.
Yeah,
It's
we're
all
gonna be
gone.
dead.
I got
It's
more.
not good.
Anybody else? Any draft pick at all? Yep. Come on up. It's pretty easy. You just saw her do it. Pretty easy. This guy's looking. He's got the itch. That knee's kind of bobbling a little bit. Like, oh, what do we got? Name, please.
Maggie.
Maggie. One E or two E's in that, Maggie?
Well, it's
How many G's?
2 G's, Maggie, but
Ooh,
it's
nice.
Just the normal Maggie
Nice.
spelling.
Okay, all
All
we're
right.
looking for is literally any Viking draft pick or player, kind of maybe a favorite that you remember growing up. What do you got?
Well, your wife said Mike Hughes.
My wife's
You're married?
here?
Mike
Which
Hughes.
one? Yikes. Yikes here. Okay, yeah, no, I'll meet up with her
Things
later
just
for sure.
Heated up quickly.
You can't write that off.
That escalated.
Sorry, girlfriend.
And I'm sorry, what was the pick? Who's the name?
Mike Hughes.
Mike Hughes. Okay. And do
Wow.
you remember what position? We've talked about him a lot tonight. Do you remember what position?
Whoa.
Whoa.
Glad the mic didn't get that.
Yeah, this is a family place. Can't write
It
that.
sounds like quarterback. It sounds like quarterback, but not
Offensive
quite.
line.
Whatever. Not right, but whatever. Cornerback, right?
Cornerback.
That was the pick. It's that easy, guys. Tom will hook you up. You want a gray one or a white one? Pick out what size. We got 2 more. All you need to do, come on up. Name maybe a childhood favorite you had growing up.
gotta-
There he is, the legend on the field. I've been waiting for this guy to come up
All right. What's your name?
all day.
Devin.
Devin? Good to meet you. I'm Sam. That's Luke.
Are you a Viking
Don't scare
fan?
him.
Are you a Packer fan? Are you a Bears fan? Are you
Bronco.
I
Oh,
like
wow.
that.
What do you
A
think about
Bronco.
Case Keenum?
I like that.
He's pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, I like it. Awesome. And is there like a draft pick that you remember growing up? I know you're kind of getting older now, but do you remember one player that you remember growing up?
Delvin Cook.
That's a great one.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
Second round pick.
Awesome. Give me a high five, man. Dalvin Cook.
I love it. I
Good
love
stuff. Tom, hook him up. Give him some prizes.
Yeah.
That's my new favorite right here.
We can get
He's
you the
a
right. We can
diehard.
get you the right
He
size if that's a little
bleeds.
too big for you.
Orange and
Devin,
blue,
thank
Denver
you.
Crush. It's that easy.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. If anyone wants to come up and talk about the Vikes, the draft zone coverage, feel free to approach us, and maybe we have some swag left over for you, perhaps. But it's been a pleasure being with you today here at Lucky's. He's Luke Inman. I'm Sam Ekstrom for zone coverage, talking draft. Hope you enjoyed your brunch. Thank you.